Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to dive into the new game called Wayfinder, which is going into early access on the 15th of August. This is the new game that I'm very much looking forward to, that I will be making videos about, that I will be streaming on YouTube and Twitch. This is the game that I'm really looking forward to. So the game company, news company called Gamereactor, they did a very good interview I've heard from a friend, so I'm gonna watch that interview with all of you. We're gonna listen to all the things the developers have to tell us about this game, and do some kind of like reaction, what we think about what he tells us about the game. So let's go to the interview. Here we go.
We're at Summer Game Fest Play Days Day 2, and one of the games I've just...
And again, just to say importantly, this video is from Gamereactor, as you can see in the logos. It's David, who is interviewing Steve, who is the game director at Airship Syndicate, who is making Wayfinder. So let's see what they have to tell us about this game.
played a little bit is Wayfinder, and it seems like a rather dynamic and varied and open-ended sort of action hack and slash open world shared world game. So first of all, what is a Wayfinder?
Sure. So Wayfinders are basically like the heroes in the world. All of the Wayfinders actually perished defending the world against the gloom in the past, and you're actually brought back as an echo. So what you're playing is an echo of someone who existed in the past. And kind of like how, in the Spider-Verse, you have Miles Morales and Peter Parker, both Spider-Man, but they're each their own unique person. And so you can be playing Wingrave and someone else is playing Wingrave, but it's your Wingrave, and you can customize them. You're your own person. Your choices are your own. What weapons you use, how you upgrade your abilities, how you look. There's lots of cosmetic options. And so, yeah, the Wayfinders are brought back into Skylight is the last bastion of humanity. It's the only place that hasn't been taken by the gloom, and you're kind of working to light beacons and take back the world from the gloom.
Okay, so before they go to the next topic, so basically this is taking the fantasy of the multiverse from Marvel and Spider-Man, all that. We have like different, we used to be guardians who defended the world, but they all vanished, and suddenly we all come again. But it's from like different universes, multiverses. So as he was saying, the Night Hero, I can't remember his name, but the Night Hero, basically we can be multiple of him because we all come from our own like timeline. I guess they want to make it that way. That's the way you can have the same heroes running around, because we all come from each of our own timeline. It's actually pretty cool how he's mentioning, the new Spider-Man movie, because it is basically that, where you have like 100 Spider-Mans from all these different timelines. So interesting. And okay, let's hear more.
Right, and to do that, there's several things you can do, right? From what I've played, I got the impression that there are three main elements to the game, like the way you explore the open world, then the dungeons, which are randomly generated, and then the social aspect. So let's sort of describe.
Before he dives more into it, now he said open world, dungeons, and socializing. Also in the background, if you see the TV over there, it's actually Wayfinder being running there. So while you're listening to this, you can also see the gameplay running there in the background.
These three main aspects, or if there is any other that I didn't mention.
Yeah, so you're like you were saying, there's overland areas, which are big open world areas. You'll see other players out there doing quests, finding world bosses, doing events that spawn in the world, exploring, finding secrets. You can find dungeon entrances there. Then the dungeons themselves we call lost zones. It's basically an area of the world that the gloom is taking over, and you're going in there and destroying the gloom anchors and trying to take back the area. It's randomly generated each time. The gloom is manipulating all reality as you go in. And those will be instanced dungeons with 3 players. You can play most of the content in the game solo or with others. The game will tune itself based on the number of players. There are some activities that do require a group.
Okay, so basically we have the open world, which is open world you can discover, but then he also says they have the dungeons, which is called lost zones, which basically it's a three-man dungeon. You can do it alone or with a friend or three people. It's kind of like Diablo. It scales automatically. So they have different taking that approach from Diablo, where it scales automatically with dungeons. I know other games also do it, but Diablo is the recent one. And basically it's also randomly generated, kind of like Diablo is doing, but I think this game is having a bit more different objects in the dungeons. Maybe we will see. But still, if you do the same dungeon twice, it shouldn't feel like the same way. It should, like, you probably have to go this way that time, or that way, or this way, something differently. But I really hope the dungeons are going to be more divided, more specific than what they are in Diablo 4, since I feel like the dungeons in Diablo 4 feels, no matter which of the 30 dungeons I do, I always feel like it's the same dungeon. So I still hope this game is going to have something specifically to, like, when you go down over here, even though it's auto-generated, it should still feel like, this dungeon here. It should have these puzzles, these bosses, and so on. But of course it can be a bit generated, if you know what I mean.
But we have matchmaking to make sure that there's people around for that as well. So I'm trying to make sure that there's something for everybody, whether you like to be alone in a crowd or always playing with others.
And then there's the social aspect with
so
housing, which also affects.
So basically it's confirmed there's going to be a matchmaking. So if you want to do a dungeon with friends, if you want to do like those things he talked about before, where you have to be a group, I think that's the raid bosses. That's like it's like hunting bosses. It's kind of like from Lost Ark and Monster Hunter, where you go in and hunt a very big boss and kill it. That's probably what you need a group for. And as he said, it's going to have matchmaking. So even if you don't play with a friend, even if you only have one friend you're playing with, you can still use matchmaking to find, to fill in the last spot. So that's pretty cool.
To character progression.
Yeah, so the Skylight is the big social hub, so you'll see other players around there, NPCs to talk to, get quests, do crafting, buy items, and then housing is another big aspect of the game. So when we launch, we're going to have apartments, so it'll be interior space that you can decorate, hang out with friends. And the housing is actually another paper doll and a way to increase the power of your characters also. You'll be able to find rare.
Okay, so basically they confirmed the game is going to have housing, and he said something about that housing can actually increase your power, which I think can be cool, as long as it's not going to be like Palia, where you need to go out and harvest a lot of fruit and cropping, like basically you're doing a farming simulator in the game. I hope it's more like, when you kill a big boss, you get like a trophy like New World, and you place it on the wall, and then you get some power from that. I hope it's kind of like that, not like Palia, where you have to like be basically being in a farming simulator.
Artifacts you can place in your house that you can activate powers on, and the bigger your house, the more powers you can activate.
He basically just answered the question I asked. Yeah, you get these artifacts, you place in your house, you activate them, you get power from them. Basically like New World. It's the same housing system as New World.
You'll also be able to find things like trophies that like animate, do fun things, pets for your house. Some of the trophies you'll be able to interact with. Like, for example, a trickster is this entity in the world, and he might show up in a dungeon and have like games of chance, like a trickster chest that you can open. And you might be able to place one in your house if you're lucky to find one, and you can like get a free roll every day on it, kind of thing. Or skeleton keys, which you can.
It sounds actually cool that you can meet this trickster guy where you can like roll at and get basically like an in-game gambler without being paid to win.
Find in the overworld, see open chests and dungeons. You might be able to have like a plaque on your wall that spits out a key once a day. So there's definitely other things other than just cosmetic. We will be eventually launching neighborhoods, so you'll have an instance neighborhood where you can have a house next to a friend.
Nice.
Take a look at how they're decorating their house. We want to have ways that you can have like have a slot for artifacts. Your friend can leave an artifact in your house to power you up. We want to do stuff like neighborhood events and like community events in the neighborhood to level up your neighborhood, and eventually guild housing and all of that. So,
That's pretty cool. So, like, my guild, my gaming community called Blue Bambies, you can join us, Discord link below. Basically, we can have like our own neighborhood where we can be like more people all having our houses. You can have like an artifact place where your friend can put an artifact to power your house even more. You can have like events and stuff like that. It sounds pretty cool. Like social aspect. I mean, of course, my main game is going to be like farming dungeons and doing bosses, but still, it sounds pretty fun. Like having a neighborhood where you can like socialize.
So from what I played and the things I could do with the character, it seemed to me pretty agile, and you have several abilities that you can choose, sort of a abilities wheel that you could select, and then you know, deliver your blow. So what can you tell us about the different types of characters and the abilities that they can choose from?
So every character has their own unique play style. They have unique abilities. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses. You'll be able to upgrade abilities as you play it and kind of change how they function. Weapons are also like their own characters. You level them up, they'll gain power, and every weapon comes with a unique ability as well. So, and any character can use any weapon. So you can mix and match, and like use daggers on your Wingrave, who normally starts with a sword and shield, but your other friend has a two-handed weapon, so you know they're going to be guard-breaking enemies well. You can swap to daggers and just rely on that big DPS. So really based on your playstyle, you can use a rifle if you're more into range play, but you like Wingrave's abilities. So a lot of customization for characters there.
And you
That's gonna open up so many build possibilities. Basically, each of the classes you can play, each of the characters you can play have their own passive effects, their own skills, their own like anything. And then for each weapon you play with, you're gonna also have different skills and passives from those weapons. So basically, the Wingrave they talk about, every time he finish like a weapon combo, like probably when he attacks, it's like boom boom and then big boom. Every time you do that, he heals some in your team. Can you imagine, like, if you use a two-hand sword, of course, it's a slow attack, slow attack, and then you heal. But if he uses daggers, it's actually boom, 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 heal, boom, 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 heal. That's going to be interesting to see if that works that way. And also, you can basically be Wingrave, support build with a shield and sword, a two-hand sword, a rifle. There's going to be so many things we can test in this game. Impressive.
You mentioned earlier that the game for now supports up to 3 players together. Is that something a figure that you want to change in the future? Is the game ready, the design of the missions and the stuff ready to host more players working together?
So in the instance dungeons and bosses, those right now are tuned for up to 3 people. In the overlands right now, we have some world bosses in the game that are balanced for more like 10 people at once. So we already have some in the overlands. You'll be with lots of other players. We do plan on adding raids later, which will also have more than 3 people.
Okay, so dungeons, small instance-based stuff, 3 people. Open world will have huge bosses where you're probably gonna be 10 people. I think it's gonna be like Diablo, where it's gonna like probably auto-match you with people. Like you just go there and then people will pop up. But of course you can also probably go with friends. And then it's pretty cool, he confirms that raid is something that is actually coming with more people. That's nice. That's nice.
Okay, and Wayfinder is finding its way to PlayStation and PC this year, if I'm correct, with both cross-platform and cross-save feature.
Right, yeah, so we're going to early access this summer, and that'll be on PC and PlayStation platforms. And you'll be able to get into early access with one of the various Founders Packs, which we'll be talking more about in the future.
And perhaps it will also find its way to other platforms in the future?
Yes, in the future they will. But for early access period, which will be a couple of seasons, that will be PC and PlayStation.
It's going to be free to play?
Yes, that's right. We'll be going free to play.
Okay, so it's gonna be on every console, probably PC and PlayStation from the 15th August. We already know this because they shared that later after this interview. So 15th of August, we're going to get early access on PC and PlayStation. It's going to have cross-play, cross-save. So you can basically be switching. Like if you have your PC up here and you have your PlayStation below, you can like switch around with them because it will keep your characters. For early access, you will still need to buy the access on both PC and PlayStation to actually be able to boot up the game. But once the game releases for real and it becomes free, then you can just download it on any consoles. It's probably also then coming on Xbox later, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's also going to come on I asked in the Discord if it's gonna come to Nintendo Switch. They say that they scrapped it, basically deleted it. But we all know that Nintendo is working on a new Nintendo right now, which is stronger. So it could be coming to that one instead. They're just like waiting for the bit of hardware. But also, for example, me who has a Steam Deck, we will be able to play it on Steam Deck also from day one, because the game is gonna be on Steam day one. So okay, that's good to know, because I sometimes prefer playing on my PlayStation, because then I can stream. When I'm streaming, I can use my PlayStation to play the game, then through Elgato to my PC, because then it's not so heavily on my PC if I have like a lot of things open at the same time.
Monetization of the game works. Is it all cosmetics, or are you using other models?
Yeah, so we're being published by Digital Extremes, and they have a lot of experience with Warframe. It's well regarded as a free and fair game, and we're definitely...
Oh, okay. So Digital Extreme, who is Digital Extreme? Yeah. Digital Extreme is the company that owns Warframe, right? Like if I find Warframe on Steam, it says here that the game Warframe is both. Let me see here. It's developed and it's published by Digital Extremes. So basically, Warframe is gonna be what not Warframe, Wayfinder. The names are very like WW. Yeah. So basically, it says here that the game is gonna be published by Digital Extreme, which is basically Warframe, and then it's gonna be developed by Airship Syndicate, which is which actually have made quite a lot of games. They have made Ruined Kings, the League of Legends game, Darkside of Genesis, Battle Chasers. Okay, that's only the 3 games they have made, but still, like I mean, they have done 3 actually good games. I liked all the games they have made so far, so that's interesting. And then like they have a publisher which is basically their competitor. I mean, Wayfinder and Warframe is kind of the same game, if you know what I'm like. Wayfinder reminds me more of like a dungeon game, dungeon looter, MMO-ish game, where Warframe could be the same but still a bit different. But still, these games could end up competing, so it's quite interesting to see Digital Extreme publishing them both, since it could be a competitor. But again, I mean, Warframe is future with robots only, and this game is heroes with plate armor on, so I guess it's a different audience, maybe. Who knows? Interesting.
Leaning into their expertise in that regard. Anything that comes with power, you can earn in the game. So we want to make sure that there's no paywalls to like actually blocking off content. So there'll be a lot of cosmetic stuff. We have our own take on a battle pass that we're going to be revealing more info on soon. And seasons will be coming with new character, new weapons each season. We'll be pushing the story forward.
Nice. I like that. No pay to win. Cosmetics, powers will be able to earn in the game. You don't have to pay for power. And every time there's a new season that comes out, we're gonna get new heroes and new weapons. That's pretty cool. We just need to hear like, do we have to create a new character like like Diablo does? Do we have to create a new season character every time, or can we keep our characters? That's the biggest question.
There's a core story you'll be progressing through. We'll be adding new areas, including new overlands, new dungeons, new hunts, live events, lots of stuff. Like I said, we're going to be adding new progression systems we have on the roadmap, planning out far in the future, like neighborhoods, adding archetype levels, and ways that incentives to play multiple characters. And even like you can craft a character. You can buy a character and get access to it sooner, but there's incentive to craft the character multiple times.
Okay, so yeah, when a new character releases, you can either like pay money to just unlock it ASAP, or you can probably like unlock them through, some kind of like currency, some way. I mean, that's basic. That every game does that. You can either earn the character like in League of Legends by playing and getting those coins, or you can buy the hero day one. I'm that type of person who just buys the hero. if there's a new hero I want to play, I need it now.
For power, you can't buy a character multiple times and skip that. So if you buy a character, it's level 1. You need to play it. We don't want people to buy out of the fun, and like we want to respect people's time. And just have fun playing the game.
All right. looking forward to playing Wayfinder later this year. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Okay, I mean, good interview in that way. You know, he asked all the right questions and he got all the right answers. Like that was actually a very good interview. I like that. So basically, the game is gonna be free to play once it real releases. It's gonna cost like $15 or whatever it is in your currency. Like very low amount of money for early access. It's gonna have different packages, so you get more cosmetics. We're gonna have all different heroes. We're gonna have all different weapons. You can use all weapons on all your heroes. Dungeon raids, hunts, open world. It's gonna be a packed game. You know, it's not gonna be an MMORPG as you know what Warcraft is. It's probably more gonna be like a game of like Diablo 4, where you have a city where you're gonna chill in, and every time you're in that city you see a lot of different people. But when you go out in open world and complete stuff, you're probably only gonna see other people, like, you know, times the time. And of course, when a world boss spawns, you're gonna see more people, and there's probably also gonna be like world events. I actually think this is gonna be a very close matchup to Diablo 4, but just in third person, if you know what I mean. Like, I think if you play Diablo 4, you're gonna see a lot of similar things in this game here, just third person instead. But of course, I'm not saying it's gonna be a ripoff or it's gonna be just Diablo 4. I just think we gotta see a lot of inspiration from that game, how this game is gonna work. I'm just very curious to see, like, when you actually new season starts, if we have to create new characters, or if we can use the same character again, or if it's like Diablo, Path of Exile and so on, where you have to create a new season character. That's gonna be very interesting. So I think all very cool interview. The game looks insanely good, and I am way too excited to play it. I'm probably gonna be, I'm gonna be playing on my PC and PlayStation. I'm gonna be buying early access on both of them. I'm gonna like be switching. If the game runs very well on my PC while I'm streaming and recording, then I'm just gonna be playing PC, and then I'm gonna take my PlayStation downstairs so I can play like in the living room, you know, and also being social, and you know what I mean. So yeah, but yeah, game looks amazing. I am way too excited, and we still have a couple of days. Like, how many days do we actually have? We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 days back. Okay, that's not too bad. Like, I mean, it's just around the corner. Just around the corner. So yeah. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. It was a pleasure making this video, as yeah, I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video. Actually, it's like a very long time. So that's the thing. When I don't have a game that I'm really excited for, I'm having a hard time making content about games I'm not excited about, or, you know, like not finding fun. But this game here is giving me that hype again to start doing content. So it's gonna be fun getting into this game here and streaming daily on Twitch and YouTube, and it's gonna be fun. So thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace out.